So today what I'm doing is I'm actually stretching some paper, some watercolor paper. I start with it on a big roll like this. This is a roll of arches. It's a big roll like that. And I cut the size I want. And then what I do is I actually wet the back of the paper, because I found that if I soak the whole piece of paper in the bath, the water affects the feel of the paper when I paint on it. The sizing gets affected. So now I only wet the back of the paper, and I'll show you how I do it.
So the first thing I do is spray the back of the paper thoroughly with water. And then here I'm just spreading the water out. You want it all to be nice and wet so that it doesn't pull away anymore. It's really quite soaked in. Artists do this in different ways. This is just the way that I do it. Then I push it down from the middle outwards, trying to stretch it out as much as possible. I'm using a brown tape that is activated by water. So you need a little bit of water on the front edges in order for it to stick to the tape. So here I'm just wetting the edges slightly with the water that was on the board. And then you just tape down the edges. This tape does not pull away nicely like masking tape. So where the tape goes, you need to be ready to actually trim your paper so that you're trimming off the tape afterwards. This happens to be a square sheet of paper, but if you're doing rectangular, then I think the right order is short edge, long edge, long edge, short edge. I'm just trying to flatten out any wrinkles that appear as I go along. And on the right hand one, I'm having to re-wet the paper underneath the tape because it wasn't holding down. I tape the other two edges and try and get everything as tight as possible.
There we go. So now I'm going to let this dry, and once they're dry, they'll be ready to paint on.
I started painting like this, just very loose and unplanned, and I'm just enjoying playing with the colors and building up the layers. In these two paintings, I'm particularly looking to make the most of the transparent qualities of the watercolor. I decided to pop two little birds in. I'm also using some ink, which reacts beautifully with the wet watercolor paint. I'm using a little bit of acrylic inks and also Inktense pencil crayons, which are absolutely gorgeous to work with. I love the way that watercolors can have such beautiful transparency, so you can see through to the layers underneath. And that's as far as I've got on this one. So I hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. And if this one turns out well, I'll post a video in due course. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.